Lee Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It was reported on the TV yesterday that the Labour backbenchers are revolting. Now that is a matter of opinion.
You don't have a TV licence.
Unlike the Labour backbenchers and the Prime Minister.
You don't have a TV licence, please.
Unlike the Labour backbenchers and the Prime Minister.
He doesn't have a TV licence. I mean, keep going. Where's your TV licence?
Hi.
Order. I didn't want to have to get up. One of us is going to sit down. It's not going to be me. Who was the person that was speaking out then? If you haven't got the guts to admit to shouting somebody down, leave the chamber. Lee Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Unlike the Prime Minister of our country, I've never been thrown out or barred from a pub. And after yesterday's disastrous announcement to save our pubs, there's no wonder it's cleared off to China. But I've got one question for the Deputy Prime Minister. Will he come with me to Ashfield to visit some pubs and speak to some landlords and explain to them why over 500 pubs have closed since this Labour government came into power, and why another 500 pubs will close in the next year? Come on, be a man.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think I once campaigned with the honourable gentleman who was a member of the Labour Party. And it's been said of him that when he left, he enhanced the IQ of the Labour Party and the IQ of the party that he went to. I wondered what job the honourable member is pitching for on Reform's shadow cabinet. They've got Nadine Zahawi to advise on tax, the member for Newark to open up the borders. Now they need Liz Truss to crash the economy.
The Scottish press is full of stories about the plot by Scottish Labour MPs to bring down the Prime Minister. One Scottish Labour MP said he's terrible. Another Scottish Labour MP said the handling of the budget had been incompetent. And yet another Scottish Labour MP predicted that Scottish Labour would be slaughtered in May's election. They're not wrong, are they, Deputy Prime Minister?
Deputy Prime Minister.
The people of Scotland have a big decision later on this year. Certainly not to vote Conservative, to get rid of SNP and vote Labour. And I and my colleagues will be campaigning every single day to bring that about.
Vicky Volkscroft.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the UK's first borough sanctuary, Lewisham has a proud history of welcoming people fleeing conflict, persecution and instability. Our council works closely with support organisations to help those people integrate and contribute to our community. So how will the Deputy Prime Minister ensure that proposed reforms to the asylum system support rather than undermine the positive outcomes already being achieved in boroughs like mine?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, I'm grateful to my honourable friend for raising this issue. Britain has always been a fair, tolerant and compassionate country that has offered safe haven to those fleeing peril, and this government will always defend those values. We're introducing the largest overhaul of asylum policy in modern times to restore control, contribution and fairness. That includes creating new, capped, safe and legal routes for refugees. Asylum claims are falling across Europe, but in Britain they are rising. So we must make it less attractive for those who are coming here illegally to come to Britain and easier to remove them, and that's what we'll continue to do.
What more?
Mr. Speaker, 6 in 10 families say their pay is going backwards, with the lowest earners £73 a week worse off, and middle earners are worse off too. So will the Deputy Prime Minister admit that his government, this government, has broken its promise to improve living standards?
Yeah.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Real wages have risen nearly every single month since we came into office.
Mr. Speaker, whilst the Chinese regime still holds British citizen Jimmy Lai captive in prison, and whilst the Chinese regime continues to hunt down pro-democracy protesters on the streets of Britain with bounties on their heads, the British Prime Minister has gone cap in hand to China to ask for a trade deal on the promise of a super embassy from which the Chinese regime will continue to spy on us. The Chinese regime remains undeterred in its illegal actions against the UK and our citizens. So can I ask the Deputy Prime Minister to name one single consequence that the Chinese regime will face if they do not stop their campaign of espionage and repression?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, China matters, and ignoring them would be a dereliction of duty. We will build a consistent, long-term and strategic approach grounded in reality. I set that out in the China audit statement I made a few months ago, and that is what our allies do. President Trump, Macron, Chancellor Merz, Prime Minister Carney, all are visiting and engaging. We'll cooperate where we can, and I'm sure in areas like climate, she would expect us to cooperate, and we will challenge in areas where we disagree. That's the way that we deliver for the public of this country.
Daisy Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I note the Deputy Prime Minister could not name one single consequence if the Chinese do not stop their espionage and repression. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Prime Minister has responded as if the world has not changed. With Russia waging war in Europe, with the Chinese hunting protesters and pro-democracy protesters on our streets, and with President Trump undermining NATO and the rules-based order which keeps us safe, we have got to act with urgency to strengthen our alliances with trusted allies in Europe and the Commonwealth, and we have got to ramp up defence spending now. Can I ask the Deputy Prime Minister, will he consider as a first step the Liberal Democrat plan to issue defence bonds to raise £20 billion in the next 2 years in order that we can rebuild our armed forces and give British savers the opportunity to invest in the defence of our nation?
The Prime Minister.
I've got to say, I've been here long enough to remember when Labour left office, 2.5% we were spending on defence, and when they were in government with them, they cut it.
Bob Blackman, final question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I join the Deputy Prime Minister in commemorating Holocaust Memorial Day. But unbelievably, Palestinian Pulse, an organisation, plan a protest outside Parliament today entitled "Confront Power in Parliament, an Anti-Zionist Rally." Now, the Jewish population of our country have had to put up with weekly protests in our towns and cities since the 7th of October 2023. Now we have Jewish businesses and restaurants having protests outside, trying to close them down. The chants are anti-Semitic. The meaning behind them is anti-Semitic.
Well said, please.
And we see where it leads. The massacre on Bondi Beach. What happened in the United States, and unbelievably, 2 of our Jewish population being murdered in Manchester. Now, Lord Macdonald's review is going to obviously look at this. But the Jewish population of this country do not have 2 years to wait before this hatred is extinguished. So will the Deputy Prime Minister take concrete steps to ensure that anti-Semitism is driven out of our country?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, I'm very grateful to the honourable gentleman. He and I have worked cross-party on these issues over many years, particularly as I represent Stamford Hill, one of the historic homes of the Jewish community, and he's quite right. The rising anti-Semitism that we see, the nature of some forms of protest is intolerable and unacceptable. That is why the Home Secretary has set out the plans that she has, and I will continue to work with her closely to drive anti-Semitism out of this country.